What's up, guys? It's your boy, Barca Boy 103, and welcome to episode 2 of the Blaugrana Faithful podcast. Now, a lot has happened over the last time I did a podcast, which was, I believe, a day before the Joan Gamper Trophy, and many things have happened. So, let's go to what we're going to talk about today. We're going to talk about Semedo being sold to Wolves, Suarez leaving and joining Atletico, Messi attacking Bartomeu, Puig staying and not being promoted, Ansu being promoted. We're going to talk about Alena Pedri and Trincao and what they can, bring to the club. We're going to talk about Todibo and Rafinha's future. We're going to talk about the three signs that we're most likely going to make in Dest, Depay, and Garcia. And then we're going to talk about the Villarreal game. Now, let's start off with Semedo being sold to Wolves. So we did sell Semedo for 40 million plus variables to Wolves, which came as a shock to a lot of people because we all know that Semedo was listed as untransferable at the start of the season. Part of the invincible, not being sold, including with Messi, De Jong, and Ter Stegen and other players. And as soon as a significant bid came in, Bartomeu took the money. Now he had 1 year left on his contract. I believe, if I remember correctly, he rejected a contract renewal at the beginning of COVID. Maybe I don't know. Don't quote me on that. But if he did, then it is what it is. Nelsinho Semedo is no more. We wish him all the best at Wolves. Obviously, played today for Wolves, and they lost 4-0. So tells you a lot about Semedo. Maybe he's the weak link that cost us to leak a lot of goals, but it is what it is. He came from Benfica, different country. It was very difficult for him. He was the first right back that we signed after Dani Alves left, and a lot of expectations were on him, and of course he didn't live up to the expectation, but he did have some good moments. We can't discredit him for that, and it is what it is with Semedo. Now, let's talk about the big one, which is El Pistolero leaving Football Club Barcelona. Now, El Pistolero is an absolute, utter legend of this club. The best number 9 to play for this club. He's better than Eto'o. He's better than Rivaldo, Romario, Stoichkov. I don't care. Luis Suarez is the greatest number 9 to play for Barcelona. And now he has gone to Atletico Madrid, which is one of our direct rivals. Now, he did play. He did make his debut as of recording this, and he scored 2 goals and gave an assist. Now, a lot of people were saying on social media that, we regret selling Suarez. Look what he can still do, blah, 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 blah. Wait till Suarez is mid-season, yeah? Suarez has been off his form for the past, I would say, 2 seasons. He hasn't scored an away goal for us in the Champions League since, 2015 against Rome. So, I think in the league he does well, at home he does well, but in away games he goes missing a lot. But you can't discredit his first 3 to 4 seasons at Barcelona. They were absolutely world class, winning the Golden Shoe, beating Messi and Ronaldo to the Pichichi as well. Can't be discredited. Obviously, had the greatest partnership ever with MSN. We thank him. Honestly, man, it was a joy to watch him play in his prime. And now maybe he can do well with Atletico Madrid. But they're looking pretty serious. Atletico Madrid. João Felix had an absolute worldly performance as well. Their team's looking good under Simeone. They're keeping Partey. They may bring in Lucas Torreira from Arsenal. And they're going to be a real threat. And he's going to be a part of that. And hopefully, if he does score against us, he doesn't celebrate. Not like David Villa did. Hopefully, he does like the hand-up celebration. Maybe kisses a couple fingers and moves on. But yeah, man, what's really sad for me is that he didn't get a proper send-off at the Camp Nou like he deserves. Banners everywhere. Everyone chanting Uruguayo. It's sad because the COVID kind of ruined that. And it's also sad that Bartomeu didn't take any pictures with him because they were having some beef, and it's sad to see that as well because, Bartomeu was taking pictures with Rakitic left, right, and center, and he's not even a Barcelona legend, in my opinion. Some people say he is. I don't think he is. I think he's just a good player that played for the club and won a lot of trophies. Just like, David Villa, Seydou Keita. Let me try to check some. Nah, you didn't get the gist of what I mean. And last thing on El Pistolero, man, he was just a joy, absolute joy to watch, especially in his prime and maybe at his last season at Liverpool. And hopefully he does the best at Atletico Madrid. Now, just like we talked about how he didn't take pictures with Bartomeu, Messi went on Instagram and took some stabs at Bartomeu, saying like, he didn't leave in the right way, blah, 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 blah. I know that, you know what I'm talking about. And it's just so sad to see that Messi still has utter hatred towards the board. And you can see that in the game against Villarreal yesterday. He was, kind of down until he scored that penalty. And it looks like he doesn't want to play for us, but he's just playing with us because he loves the club so much. Obviously, it's great to see from a Barcelona fan point, but at the end of the day, we want players who want to play for us. And it is evident, absolutely evident, that Messi does not want to play for Barcelona, but he's kind of going through the motion and sticking with it. Hopefully, if we perform a lot better and compete for some trophies, he'll maybe consider staying with us. And it all depends, like I said again, on which president comes in. If it's Victor Font, we pray to God that he convinces Messi to stay. Even if it's Juan Laporta, he convinces him to stay. And just like I talked about my transfer reaction video yesterday, if Poyel joins one of the Poyel was saying that he's gonna join one of the president candidates and promote them. If he joins Victor Font, obviously it'd be great. But if he joins Laporte, then it's gonna be a quite hefty battle between them two, because obviously it's gonna be between the two. Because right now I think Victor Font is absolutely clear away leading the race. I hope it's him, but the big task they're gonna have to come into at first is trying to convince Lionel Messi to stay, which is probably the biggest thing that I ever do as a president. So, and also the most difficult. So, we'll see if they can, manage to convince him to stay, and hopefully Messi can maybe has a couple more seasons until maybe he retires or goes back to those old boys. You never know with Leo. So, yeah, man. Hopefully he has a good season. Now, let's talk about Ricky Puig. Now, before the last podcast, Ricky Puig was told by Ronald Koeman to go out on loan to find game time. Now, I find that to be absolutely ridiculous. How is Ricky Puig being told to go out on loan? This man has been our best midfielder since COVID and probably still is today. And he's being told to go out on loan. What a shambles. He was told by Bartomeu, him and Araujo, and Ansu Fati were told by Bartomeu that they would be promoted to the first team. Ansu has been promoted. Ronaldo Araujo has been told that he's going to stay with Barcelona B, and same with Ricky Puig. And they will not be getting first team numbers this season unless some miracle happens, I guess. Now, Xavi said back in 2016 that if he was a Barcelona, not 2016, sorry, in 2018, that if he was the Barcelona coach, Ricky Puig would be starting. That tells you everything you need to know. So as soon as Xavi comes in and be the Barcelona coach, we know that Ricky Puig would be used to the best of his ability. But right now, he didn't make an appearance. He didn't even warm up against Villarreal. And I'm very, very worried that Koeman may force him out to go on loan in January. That's still on the cards. So hopefully he gets an opportunity at some stage or another against a team, and then he absolutely performs and changes Ronald Koeman's mind. Another person who was sold on loan, go out on loan by Ronald Koeman was Carlos Alena, which he already just served a loan at Real Betis because Valverde wasn't giving him playing time. Now he's being told to go out on loan again. But he's being optimistic as well. He wants to stay. He knows that all you have, because Sergio Roberto said this in an interview, I had the same situation as Puig and Alenia, but I decided to stay. I got my opportunity, I performed, and now I'm a starter and the fourth captain. So anything can happen at Barcelona. Alenia did get the number 6, so he is a first team player on paper. Also, who are first team players on paper is Pedri and Trincao. They got the number 16 and number 17 respectively. Pedri is very liked by Koeman. He said that I do like you, I do think you have talent, but you may have to wait for your opportunity because some players are ahead of you at the moment, i.e. Coutinho and Griezmann. So as soon as one of them maybe falls out of form or gets injured, Pedri's going to come in, he's going to get his opportunity, and if he doesn't perform, we'll move on to the next player. One of that player could be Trincao. Trincao on the wing has been absolutely brilliant in preseason. Came on against Villarreal, only had maybe 15-20 minutes, didn't really have time to get into the game, which is understandable. And hopefully they both have great futures at the club. Now, one of the players that also could play in that position, that number 10 that we've been linked to, is Memphis Depay. Now, Memphis Depay was on the bench at Lyon this weekend. He didn't come on to play. And, rumors are circulating that Barcelona are going to go for him after they finish the Garcia deal. And they've already wrapped up the Dest deal. Fabrizio Romano, as I'm recording this, just tweeted saying that on Tuesday, Dest will be presented as a Barcelona player and will be officially announced by the club. So Dest is in the bags, 20 million plus variables. It's over, and there's absolutely no chance that he goes to Bayern Munich, and everything is going to be coming to Barcelona. And the next two players are Garcia and Depay. Koeman hinted after the game that he wants a number 9. And a lot of people were saying in my comments section and on Twitter saying that we do not need a number 9 because we have Ansu Fati, we have Messi, Griezmann, Coutinho, Trincao, Dembele, Pedri. But you guys need to understand that Depay is a pure number 9. Not a pure number 9. He plays like a false 9 kind of thing, just like he's basically a Griezmann 2.0. But at the end of the day, he plays as a pure number 9 for Olympique Lyon. So Koeman can think he can come do a job. Also, he played the number 9 role with Koeman and the Dutch team and performed so well. Now that's why Coleman wants him. He has 1 year left on his contract at Lyon, 25 million plus a variables cut fee. For Depay's quality, it's not that much money to be risking it on. I know a lot of you guys really don't want Depay. You're like, oh, just play Ansu up top, and then just play Pedri or Dembele out wide. That is true, but you have to take into account fatigue. You have to take into account how many games you're going to play this season, and all in a short amount of time because of COVID. Like our next game is on Thursday, and then you have to take into account injuries we may have. What happens if Dembele and Trincao both get injured in the same game? We're going to be left with Messi, Griezmann, and Ansu, and they get to play 90 minutes every single game until one of them comes back. It's not feasible. Just like Coleman said after the game, I would like a number 9, but if I don't get one, it won't be the end of the world. Because obviously we have Conrad De La Fuente from the B team. It won't be the end of the world, but he would prefer to have one. Now, will he get it? Will be the question. The 3 that are rumored are Dest, Depay, and Garcia. Now let's talk about Garcia. Obviously, he had an up and down sort of game against Leicester yesterday in the 5-2, and he gave away a penalty. But in the first half that I watched, because I only watched the first half, so I'll be real. In the first half that I watched, he was absolutely superb. Absolutely can't wait for him to come play for Barcelona. And I know a lot of you guys, kind of on the same boat as me, want us to keep Todibo. Now, Todibo is being rumored to Fulham and Everton for a loan with a buy option, and Barcelona just want to get rid of him at this point because we all know that he doesn't have a first team number because Alena just took it and he's on the market. I would absolutely love us to keep Todibo. I think this season, a lot of teams have 4 center backs, right? It's pretty obvious. You play two as backup. I think for just this season, we should have 5 center backs. Those 5 center backs should be PK, Lenglet, Eric Garcia, Todibo, and Ronald Araujo. I think that those 5 should be our 5 center backs. The reason being is that we all know that PK is coming towards the end, and he shouldn't be as reliable. We shouldn't be as reliant on him as we were the last few seasons, and we should be able to play Todibo and Araujo and Eric Garcia a lot more. But the main problem we need to get rid of Umtiti. Now, Leon president came out today after, or not today, sorry, yesterday after the Villarreal game that he has not received a bid from Barcelona for Depay yet, and they are not interested in Umtiti. That's a real downfall for us because basically Leon are the only team that Umtiti would really consider leaving Barcelona for, and maybe Arsenal because all his French friends are there, kind of so to speak. But no one wants Umtiti because his knee is so bad that he will get injured very very easily. Now we all know that AS reported the other day that he's hired a physiotherapist outside the club to help him recover from that knee. Because we all know Umtiti had a bad knee, he needed surgery, but he went through the pain so he could play in the World Cup. Obviously became a world champion, so in the end, he sees it as a big win. But for his career now, it's looking like a big L because he can't even string a few games around. And I know that a lot of you guys don't even like Umtiti to begin with because he had a few appearances under Keith at the end, didn't really perform. Then his knee went again. He was out for the rest of the season again. He's training with the first team the past few training sessions, so he should be back maybe in the next week or so. So we'll see if Coleman will trust him, play him a couple of times, and see if he can, come back to the Umtiti that we knew. The 2017 Umtiti was unbeatable, man. That Umtiti was so good. I wish we could have that back. But it would be excellent backup to Lenglet because I think Umtiti is far, far, far away from Lenglet. Because you see Lenglet's performance yesterday against Villarreal. He was world class. This guy is like the most underrated player at Barcelona. This guy is so good. His passing was absolutely out of this world. His tackles, his interceptions were brilliant. I think Lenglet is easily top 10, top 7 best center backs in the world, in my opinion. I think he's that good. So we're going to have to see if Umtiti can provide good competition for him. And back on Todibo, that's why I'd keep Todibo because Umtiti's not reliable when you need to get rid of him. Plus, Todibo in every game he's played, I think he's done well. He obviously played against Sevilla for Valverde, played against Inter Milan, came on the subs a couple of times, then was sent on loan to Schalke, and we haven't seen him play since. I think Coleman should give Todibo a chance, maybe till January. Then if he doesn't like him, send him out on loan then. But I think he deserves a chance under Coleman because I think he has the potential. Just like we all know the saying, Todi Beast. I think he is a beast. I think when we brought him from Toulouse, it looked like a deal that we just wanted to flip some money on, just like we always do with these random signings. But he turned out to be a gem, and I would really, 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 really like to see him play in a Barcelona shirt. We also had to do the commercial for the Jean Gamper. They had the compilation at the beginning. He was wearing a shirt, which is good because you can see like Suarez and Vidal weren't really wearing shirts because they were rumored to leave. He was wearing a shirt, but he doesn't have official first team number yet, which is the big warning sign. Hopefully Coleman can trust in him. Now, Another player whose future's in doubt is Rafinha, and Rafinha was obviously on the bench yesterday for the Villarreal game. Didn't come on, made the matchday squad. That gives big warning signs to me that Barcelona are really struggling to sell him, and now they're trying to integrate him to the team so that he can play the season. We all know that if he plays this season, he will highly leave for free at the end of the season because I doubt he'll renew his contract at Barcelona. Probably join Celta Vigo or something like that on a free, or maybe a team in Italy because he's been rumored a lot in Italy as well. He added that loan spell at Inter Milan, did okay. But it looks like Rafinha's going to stick with us for this season because no one really wants to pay the 15 million that Barcelona are asking for. Is that a good thing or a bad thing? Maybe, maybe not. Maybe he could, hopefully he can play like his brother Thiago, but we'll see. Maybe if he stays, we won't need a number 9 because Rafinha can play that center attacking mid role. Not so much the false 9, but he can play on the wings as well. We saw him play on the wings a lot under Valverde. Obviously, I went to the Inter Milan game, the 2-0 one in the 2018-19 season, and I saw him score. So Rafinha on his day is a good player. He just he doesn't always perform, very inconsistent, and he's also always injury prone. I think he's had 2 season-ending injuries in Barcelona, and really hasn't come to for Rafinha. So we need to get rid of him, and if not, maybe send him on loan with an option to buy or an obligation to buy, just to compensate and help the team. Like help the team that wants to buy Rafinha get him, because we've seen like absolutely no interest. The only interest we've seen is from Celta Vigo, who he was on loan with last season, but they simply can't afford him due to coronavirus. So it's going to be interesting to see the future of Rafinha. Let's talk about the game against Villarreal yesterday. Obviously, a game of 2 halves, like we said in the match review. I had the chance to watch the game again, and I think like a lot of my player ratings were off again, just because it's hard to watch the game. I was in a hot room, trying to interact with the live chat. Not trying to maybe I'm trying to make excuses a little bit, but a lot of my player ratings were off. Now, I stick by my Sergio Roberto rating. He was absolutely dreadful that game. I gave Busquets a 7 to player ratings. He wasn't really that good. I think he was probably an average 6 as well. Looks like that pivot doesn't really suit Busi. I think as soon as Pjanic is fit, he'll be a starter. Because once Pjanic came on that field, he was really, really good. He had a lot of interceptions, a lot of great passes. Obviously took a free kick off Messi. And he had very, very key interceptions in the game. I think Pjanic could be a decent player for us this season. I do think he's a shooting to start. Some other keynotes we can talk about is that Jordi Alba got man of the match. Do you know why? The reason why Jordi Alba got man of the match was because the BN Sports. I watched it on BN Sports, and BN Sports gave Jordi Alba man of the match. They gave it to Jordi Alba because they couldn't give it to Ansu Fati because he's 17 years old, and the man of the match is sponsored by Budweiser, which is of course an alcoholic beverage. And Ansu Fati is underage, so he can't really drink. So they couldn't give it to him because he's, the sponsor couldn't allow a 17-year-old to get, a whole can of beer for a man of the match. So that's why they didn't give it to Ansu Fati, which I found kind of hilarious. So they thought the second best player on the field was Jordi Alba. I completely disagree, but I do think he had a decent performance. But I do think we need some fresh blood in that left back position. We need to bring in someone who will take over Jordi Alba. Do I think it's Firpo? It's too early to tell, but I do think Firpo could be a good backup option. Maybe for like a Gaia or someone like that we bring in. But I think Firpo will get some chances this season. Hopefully he can take those. Like I said about Piqué and Lenglet, they were absolutely superb. De Jong, I gave him I think 7 or 6 in the player ratings. I think overall he had a good game, but I think he just had a bad last 15-20 minutes. That's what I kind of judged him on. I think he was overall a good high mid-7. But, the last few minutes he kind of dropped off a bit. His passes weren't really connecting. Could be due to fatigue and all that sort. He was high pressed a lot by Parejo and Abora. And, it almost cost us a goal. But what happens. Maybe I think he should have been subbed off. I don't know why Koeman. This is another thing I want to talk about. Why do Barcelona coaches never use older subs? Like, it happens every time. Like, it's so ridiculous. Like, this is the first time and probably the last time ever you will be able to have 5 subs in competitive competitions. I find it absolutely outrageous how coaches don't use their subs. Like, it's literally bringing on fresh players for tired old players or young or whatever, depends on your situation. I don't understand why they don't use it. Like, plus your bench is stocked up too. You can have like almost like 12 subs, something like that. Like Barcelona had 2 goalkeepers on the bench against Villarreal, and it's just like I wish that Koeman, and hopefully he does, take this into account that he does use all his 5 subs. We have a lot of talent on the bench. They're fighting for places. You gotta give him the opportunity to shine. And I wish that he brought on maybe Alenia or Ricky Puig or maybe Rafinha for De Jong just to see someone different. De Jong has we all know he's gonna be the future Barcelona in the field, but he looks so tired. He looks so dejected. Like he needed to come off. I don't understand why Coleman insisted on keeping him on. Maybe because he's Dutch. I don't know. Ansu Fati is the future of FC Barcelona. I cannot express this enough. I'm praying to God Jorge Mendes doesn't screw us up and give us some ridiculous offer and try to persuade Ansu to leave. Because right when Jorge Mendes was appointed his agent, I was really scared because he does that a lot all the time. You can see it with Cristiano Ronaldo. If the player has any simple little doubts, he'll get him a move within like 2 days. That's what Jorge Mendes does. Ansu Fati against Villarreal yesterday was absolutely brilliant. Every time he got the ball, I thought he was going to score. That's how threatening he was. Like he is so good for a 17-year-old man. Like I'm 21 years old. This guy is 17, starter for Barcelona, and I every time he gets the ball, I think he's going to score. That's how good this young man is. Hopefully he keeps his head up. Hopefully he can keep going, and he will have a very 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 bright future at Barcelona. Another player we're going to talk about, Antoine Griezmann. I think he had a very, very solid performance that game, interchanging a lot with Messi and maybe even Coutinho at some points. I think Griezmann always gives you a solid performance, but the question is, like, we paid 120 million for him. We need him to start, scoring and making magical moments. It's all good running up and down and defending and stuff. That should be the bare minimum. But obviously, our expectations are all-time low because we sucked last season. So running up and down defending is a good performance. I do think I'll come some slack, but like Griezmann needs to start performing. 120 million pound player. I said that before, and I'll say it again. You can check my tweets from 2 years ago when we signed Griezmann. We should have used that money for Neymar. If we just offered that same amount of money plus maybe Rakitic or Umtiti or some crap like that, we would be sitting with Neymar right now and probably Suarez in our team if Neymar came in, and maybe we wouldn't have done as bad as we did last season. But no, Bartomeu again making dumb decisions. And you can look at it like Bartomeu has been here since 2014, the summer of 2014. If you look at every signing he made from 2014 till now, I'm pretty sure there's like only four: Ter Stegen, De Jong, Griezmann, Neto, Firpo. I'm pretty sure everyone else is gone, and it just shows you how bad he's so bad at buying players. Like, I'll give him credit. Like the last summer and this summer, he's done okay. Bringing in De Jong and Griezmann, and now he's bringing in Sergino Dest, Pedri Trincao. They're decent signings. But that swap deal for Pjanic, first off, was absolutely ridiculous. He did that just to balance the books, and now he sold Semedo, which would have balanced the books in the first place, and now we lost on one of the best midfielders in the future in Artur. He made his debut for Juventus yesterday as well, so shout out to him. But yeah, man, Bartomeu has spent over 400 million, or is it 1 billion? I think he spent almost 1 billion, and we've won a league, 2 leagues, 2 copas. I don't give him credit for that treble season whatsoever. That was all from the old president Sandro Rosell, even though he was a trash president as well. The B team was already built by Laporta, and sorry, not Sandro Rosell, Laporta. He was the one who built that team, and they were reaching their prime, and some players got shipped out. And I do credit some of the signings that Bartomeu made that summer. Rakitic, Ter Stegen, and Suarez were all great signings. But Douglas was trash, didn't even come. Mathieu was okay. Vermaelen was okay as well. And then Bravo was okay as well. But after that summer, he's made dreadful signings. You look at Arda Turan, trash. Alex Vidal, trash. Luca Digne, sold. Paco, sold. Andre Gomez, gammon. Absolute gammon. What was that next season? Semedo was okay, I guess. Paulinho did well, then left. Dembele, considered a flop in my opinion at the moment. Coutinho doing well now, but was a flop before that. And now we have Griezmann, Neto, Firpo, and De Jong signed last summer, and now this summer he signed Pedri Trincao, Pjanic, and now Dest. Speaking of Dest, he's going to walk into our team, Sergino Dest. This is because Sergio Roberto is not a right back. This is one of the reasons why Sergino Dest came, because he knows he can easily walk into that midfield, into that right back position. Like, competition is really hard in Bayern Munich. They got a lot of good fullbacks. Hernandez, Alphonso Davies, Pavard, Kimmich can play there. They probably have some youth prospects as well. He knew it was going to be difficult getting in there, but he knows it's easy coming into Barcelona. Like, it's Sergio Roberto. He's our only right back. He's not even a right back. Easy decision for him. I don't even know why he was considering why it was considered a race. As soon as Barcelona got into that race, he was gonna join Barcelona. Hopefully, I think it's gonna be announced on Tuesday that he's gonna be a Barcelona player, and hopefully he can probably won't play the Celta Vigo game. Maybe he'll be fit for the Sevilla. He'll be integrated enough into the team to play against Sevilla on the weekend. Maybe he'll make a sub appearance against Celta Vigo on Thursday. And finally, about the Villarreal game, overall, it was a game of two halves. First half, Barcelona showed the intensity, showed the beautifulness they can play at, scoring 4 goals, even though one was an own goal. Beautiful run by Sergio Busquets, by the way. And then the second half, you can see the fatigue coming in. You can see, the age. What's the word I'm trying to look for? Like, you can see, like, the oldness coming out of them. You know what I mean? The likes of Busquets, the likes of Piqué. Even though Piqué had a solid performance, and just because it was a quiet game for him, that's why he had the speed in the end of the game. But if he was, playing Atletico Madrid, he would have been so tired. Same with Jordi Alba, he was kind of coming off at the end of the game. We need to, start playing a lot of the fresh blood more often than we are at the moment. But overall, it's a good win, clean sheet as well, which I didn't mention in the match review. Neto getting his first clean sheet of the season, which is a shock. Usually we concede, but improvements being made under Ronald Koeman, and hopefully, maybe if he does well this season, Victor Font or whatever new president will give him a chance. But it looks like if Koeman doesn't do well, he'll be sacked within one season when the new president comes in, and they're going to integrate their own project. So that's going to be the end of the podcast. I'm pretty sure I talked about everything that I want to talk about. If you guys are new to the channel, make sure you guys hit that subscribe button and leave me your comments on anything that we talked about during this podcast. We got a game this Thursday, then we got a game on Sunday. Both of them 3 p.m. kickoffs my time. Hopefully we can get the Garcia deal done by then, and maybe even the Depay deal, because transfer window is going to be closing on October 5th, which is in 1 week exactly. So 1 week to complete 2 deals. Dest deal is done. Is it possible? Yes. Will Barcelona do it? I think they will. I think the Garcia deal will be really, was what they're going to be mainly focused on. So if the Garcia deal gets done early, then Depay could be an option. If not, maybe Depay will be left for another time, or maybe we'll try to shift our focus to Lautaro Martinez, or maybe even Haaland or Mbappe, who are both available for cut prices this summer. Mbappe probably going to go to Real Madrid, though, let's be real. That's going to be the end of this podcast, guys. The Blaugrana Faithful Podcast, Episode 2. Leave me your thoughts down below, of course, like I said, and I will see you guys on the next episode, which will probably be next Monday after the Sevilla game as well. Maybe that's what I'll do. I'll do the podcast at the beginning of each week to talk about what happened in the previous week, because this episode 2 came out a little bit late because we didn't even talk about the Joan Gamper Trophy, because that's completely old news at this point. Even though I recorded the first one before the day before the Joan Gamper, and yeah, it is what it is, and I think I'll start doing that from now on at the end of each weekend. Do a Blaugrana Faithful podcast. At the end of the day, we're all culés. We're all seeking great success for this season. I'll see you guys next time, probably for another transfer reaction video, because like we said in this podcast, a lot of transfers are going to be happening in this last week of the window. A lot of big breaking news could be happening at any point at any given day. I dragged this outro for a very long time, so I'm just going to cut it right here. Take care, guys, and as always, Forza Barca.